You guys can tell me where you're speaking from, maybe. Where are you in the world? Last live we had people from Peru, Chile, Brazil, lots of people. I'm speaking from Australia. All right, okay, guys. So, welcome to another Exploring IELTS with Fabi special edition today, once again, to get you ready for the workshop IELTS Booster 3.0. This event's 100% online, free, and it's going to happen on the 24th, 26th, and 28th of April, okay? And in this event, I will share with you some very interesting things that will definitely help you get the score you need and help you do the test only once. All right? To participate, just click on the link in the bio on Instagram. All right, guys? And I don't know if you know, but we are live on Instagram and YouTube. So we are live at both places, okay? So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Fabi. I'm an English teacher. I teach English at English colleges and also at universities here in Brisbane, Australia. And I help people get the score they need on the IELTS test and do the test only once. All right, guys, so let's get started today. So as usual, if you guys have any questions, you can pop the questions in. All right, and then if I don't get to your questions when you write them in, I will get to them later. Okay, so today we're actually going to talk about something that came up. Actually, it has been coming up for quite a while, and quite a few times when I'm talking to students, And one of the things that I ask people quite often is, what's one of the things that is actually stopping you from getting the score that you need on the IELTS test? And a lot of people say fear of failing. Okay, so a lot of people end up not doing the IELTS test. A lot of people end up postponing the IELTS test because they are afraid of failing. Okay, so, and this is a topic, it's funny because it's not related to the IELTS test, but it is related to the IELTS test. Okay, as I mentioned before, sometimes I feel that part of my job is not only to teach you guys about the IELTS test, it's also to help you with things that will help you get the score, but are not related to the test itself, and they are more related to maybe your mindset. Okay, so I do that job too. All right, guys, so today we're gonna talk a little bit about fear of failing, okay, and how some people have this fear, which is completely normal. If you feel that way, you're not the only one. Okay, guys, so one of the things that I would like to ask you, okay, just think about it a little bit. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Okay, and most importantly, what are you? Because sometimes we are afraid of things because things can be dangerous. Okay, but other times we are afraid of things because maybe we don't want to be embarrassed, or maybe in the case of the IELTS test, we don't want to fail. Right? So is there anything in your life that you feel that way about? Think about that. I bet you do. I do. Being here with you guys right now. Oh my God. I'm very good at talking in front of people, but in front of the camera, not so much. I know you guys are there, okay? But sometimes it's a little bit, what if I say something wrong? That kind of stuff, right? But I'm here, okay? And I'm getting better at it. Okay, I'm doing every day now, right? So we all have something, right, that we are a bit scared of or afraid of, especially when it comes to failing, okay? So, but I do think that most of these things, right, the things that we have to do that will make us afraid of something are usually connected to our biggest dreams or our biggest goals, okay? So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this today, okay? Because maybe your fear of failing the IELTS test is stopping you from achieving higher goals. And it shouldn't be, okay? Definitely not, okay? So usually also when we are we have this fear of failing is probably related to getting out of our comfort zone. Okay, so yeah, so maybe we have to step out of our comfort zone, and that is scary, and that may make us feel afraid of something and have fear. Okay, so are you guys thinking about that? Can you think of a few things that you're already kind of afraid of a little bit? Yeah? Okay, so today I'm gonna help you with the IELTS test, not all the other things, okay? Okay, so yeah, so when it comes to this fear of failing for the IELTS test, guys, so I feel that one of the things that happens is when people feel that they are afraid and they are worried they will fail, one thing that happens is they decide not to do it, which is completely fine. Okay, say, oh, no, yeah, there's this test, so I want to live in Australia or I want to study in Canada, but I have to do the IELTS test. Oh, I hate tests. Oh my God, what if I fail? And they give up. Okay, I don't think this should be a reason for you guys to give up on your biggest dreams, but it happens, right? But then, one thing that I don't quite understand are the people who say, all right, no, okay, I'll do it. And then they keep postponing it. And they keep postponing it and they postpone it. And then sorry. And then they decide that they're going to do it, but they don't know when. Okay, so they postpone this practice. They postpone taking the exam. They postpone asking for help. All right. And I think that builds up your fear and anxiety, which is something that we talked about a few lives ago, right? So if you missed that live, head to YouTube, okay, because the live is there. IELTS anxiety, okay? So if you keep doing that, okay, so I think that the fear of failing and the anxiety, they go quite together, right? So today, I'm going to tell you a few things that you can do, all right? So you can stop the fear of failing. And if you have failed the IELTS test, I'll tell you a few things that you can do too. Okay, because I have helped people in all of these circumstances, okay, guys? People who are afraid of doing it, and also people who have done it and are worried about failing again, okay? So when it comes to exams, I have failed a few times, yeah. So first English exam I took was the TOEFL. And I can't remember exactly what my score was. I think it was maybe about, but that was a long time ago. I think the scoring changed. But at the time, I think I got maybe 246. That was the score. It was a good score. And then I moved to the United States. And when I got there was this amazing linguistics course I wanted to do. And then there was this amazing literature course I wanted to do. And guess what? I needed 250 points and I had 246. Can you believe that? I was very upset. I talked to a lot of people and then they said, no, you can't do it. Their English is not good enough. I'm like, really? But then I ended up doing actually a course that helped me a lot. It was a really high level English course. So I could get into those courses because my English wasn't good enough. And it was amazing. So I'm pretty happy I did that. But yeah, so I wasn't really worried about failing. I just did the test just to see what I would get. And then I got there, but I was disappointed with my result because I had no idea what I could or couldn't get with the results. And then when I got there, I was very disappointed, but in the end of the day, it was good. Okay. And then I did the CPE exam. I don't know if you know, but the CPE exam is the highest Cambridge exam. All right. If you pass this exam, maybe your English is better than native speakers. So I did that one. And again, the scoring changed. But when I did it, the score, yeah, so you needed 60 points to pass. I got 59. So that was disappointing. Okay, but then, guess what? I came to Australia to study for the exam. So I came to Australia to study for the exam. So yeah, so that failing. So that's the thing. So I failed, right? But then I wasn't scared of it. I was like, oh no, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it, keep trying. But then, of course, I had a plan and I prepared myself and then I passed with a B. All right, so I went from a D to a B. All right, guys. So you can do it, okay? If you are worried about failing, you can do it without failing. But if you have failed and you're worried you will fail again, you won't. Okay, guys. I'm proof of that, okay? And then when I had to do the IELTS test, I was a bit worried, of course, because I have failed exams in the past, but then I ended up getting a really good score. All right, okay? Yeah, that's good. That was good. Okay, so let's get started. Enough about me, and now let's talk about you. Okay, so when I was preparing what I was going to talk to you guys about today, I noticed that when I decided to talk about, when I thought about talking about this fear of failing, also the the anxiety, they go together. All right, so fear of failing and anxiety, they go together. And one thing that you guys have to think about, right, is that fear, if you work on your fear of failing, you'll probably be working with your anxiety also. And the things that you can do are similar, okay? So practice. Okay, so when you're practicing, you can see where you're at. You can see where you're getting. And that will definitely help you with that, okay? Also, another thing that you can think about would definitely be getting help, okay? Because usually when we get help, right, people can tell us a little bit more of what is going on and where we're at our level, okay? And again, if you know where you're at, if you have someone who knows what they're talking about and they can tell you, yes, you're doing quite well, okay, or you have to improve that will also help you. All right, okay. I think Juju is at the door again, guys. Juju is my dog. I think she's at the door. Okay, she's knocking on the door. Okay, I'll wait for her to knock again. If she knocks again, I'll go get her. I think she really... Hey, hi. yeah, she's in now. Oh, hey, Juju. Hey, Juju. Hey. Come here. Oh, my God. Juju likes being on camera, guys. Look at her. Hey, Juju. She's going to stay here? Okay, she wants to stay here today, guys. Okay, stay. You want to stay? No? Do you want to stay? You're right. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Hey, Ricardo, how are you? A long time no see. True. All right. Okay. Yeah. So practicing, guys, definitely will help you with your fear of failing. Okay. And getting some help also. Okay. And of course, it will help you with your anxiety. Yeah. So Juju, I think people like you. People like you, Juju. They're saying lots of hearts to you right now. Okay? Hey, Juju. Yeah, she's funny. Do you want to stay here? Okay, what do you want to do? Stay here. Come on. Yeah, just sit there. Good girl, Juju. Good, Juju. Okay, where was I? Okay. So that's a way for you to actually prepare yourself, okay, guys, and work on your fear of failing, right? Now... One thing, of course, that happens many times, guys, is that people get in touch with me and they have done the IELTS test. Okay, they were worried about it and then they go ahead and they do it. Okay, and then after they do it, they fail and then they get in touch with me. All right, and then for some people, then the fear of failing becomes even higher because they have failed. All right, but one thing that might sound a little bit crazy, let's say, is the fact that if you come to me and ask me for help and you have done the IELTS test, even if you have failed, it's easier for me to help you. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but I know exactly where you're at. And then that makes it easier for me to help you, okay? So if you have done, so guys, so if you have failed the IELTS test, okay, I don't think you should see it as something that is really bad because you have evidence of what you have done and what you can do, and then you can work with that, okay? So I think that a lot of people, they forget about that. Okay, I do have some students who say, I don't mind, I'm just gonna do the test and see what I get, and that's okay. Okay, but some people are not very prepared, but they go ahead and they do it, which is fine, and then they fail. They're like, okay, I thought I was gonna fail, so that's okay. Let's work with it. So that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, that you should go ahead and give it a go. That's all I'm saying. And you shouldn't be really scared of failing, because even if you fail, you can use that information to your advantage, and you can try to use that to improve. Okay? So how would that work then? You know what you have to improve, basically. Sounds really simple, right? But I can see that for the people who are doing the test and practicing for the test, sometimes you can see that because you're so worried about your score, right? And then you can't quite see that. But you can do that too. So just the case of one of my students, right? 8 in speaking, 8 in listening, 8 in reading, 6.5 in writing. Okay? Devastated. Devastated. But, okay, she got in touch with me devastated. However, after talking about it, she could see that she could get the score she needed. She could get the 7. She did a 7 overall. So she actually got, I think it was a 7.5 overall, which was amazing. But she needed 7 in writing too. Okay? So again, she came to me, we talked about it. She was devastated and again, really scared. She's one of the ones that her hands would shake and she couldn't really type the writing. Okay? But what could I see? I could see that her English was very, very good, because she managed to get 8 in lots of things, right? So her English was very good. And I said that to her. She couldn't see that, right? Because she was so worried and her fear of failing was even higher after doing the first time. But we worked together and then she did it again and she got a 7.5 in writing. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So don't be afraid of trying, okay? Don't. Of course, do some practice, get some help, make sure you know where you're at when it comes to the scores. Make sure you use tests that are authentic, because if you end up using tests that are not authentic, you might be getting a 7 in your practice, and when you do the real test, you get a 6. That's what happens sometimes too, guys. Yeah, people end up doing tests that are not really authentic, and then when they do it, then in the end of the day, they don't get a good score because of that, because it's not authentic, and they go to the real thing and it's completely different, and then you might fail. Okay, so again, and you think you're a bit anxious also, if you are anxious and maybe you're not feeling confident, okay, all of these things, practice, get some help using authentic materials, that's what's gonna help you. Okay, and then if you do the test and then you go ahead, and even if you fail, guys, there are so many things you can do with those results. So many things you can do, okay? I try to help people do the test only once, because I know that sometimes failing will make your journey harder. Okay, that's why I always try to get my students to do the IELTS test only once. But I know that sometimes that's not possible because of lots of different reasons. Okay, a student recently, the night before her IELTS test, her daughter was in hospital. Yeah, so she got home at 11, spent the whole day with her daughter in hospital the day before, and they got home at 11. The test was at 9, and she didn't get a very good score. So that's, so there's also these things that we can think about. But but of course, there are things that we can do. So again, like I said in the last live, guys, we work with the things we can control, right? We work with the things we can control, and we can control our practice, right? Sometimes it's hard to control our emotions, but maybe we can do things that will help us with our emotions, okay? And that can be different for different people, but start thinking about that. Maybe it could be a good idea. All right, what's here? So I've been getting these questions a lot. So the question is there any free official material to practice? Yes. I think it was last week or this week, I had it in my stories. Maybe I will create a post on my Instagram just so people can check it. The British Council website. I think the website is Take the IELTS or something. I can't quite remember what it is. Yeah, I think it's Take the IELTS. I will make a post, guys. Yeah, I will create a story again today, okay, with that link, because over there you get full tests, okay? So I think the test is on there. You can also download the PDF. You have listening, speaking, have everything. And one of the best things about this website is that they have a section where you can practice for the IELTS test on the computer. Okay, so that's really good too. And the thing I like about that is that you can practice each type of question. Yeah, because when you are doing the IELTS on paper, you cross things, write things down, you know, the matching, for example, you match the letters. However, when you do on the computer, you drag things around. Right, so I think it was Danny. So Danny, yeah, so go to that website, okay? I will definitely, I'll have a story, guys, check out my stories later today. Okay, with that website again, okay? And maybe I'll create a post also with that website in it. Okay, yeah. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, Apples would be great, just saw that here, sorry. Apples would be great, cool. Yeah, so yeah, so, oh yeah, going back to the topic, guys, but just pop the questions in, okay, if you have any other questions. So yeah, guys, so don't be afraid of the IELTS test, okay, don't be afraid of it. And if you're starting your journey now, start it the right way, okay? Start doing tests that are authentic. Start by maybe asking for help. All right, start by practicing, start by working on your English. Don't go trying those crazy tips and shortcuts, okay? Because I feel that shortcuts will get you a 6, okay? But shortcuts won't get you a high score. And even if you need just a 6, why not aim a little bit higher? You know, aim at a 7. Okay, I was talking to a person recently and he said, oh, I need an 8. I'm like, wow, what do you need? No, actually I need a 7, but I'm aiming at an 8. I'm like, okay, that's quite high. It's like, yeah, no, it's just to do it for myself, you know, to prove it to myself that I can do it. And then, yeah, he has his reasons for doing that. But yeah, guys, so if you're starting your IELTS journey now, start it the right way. That's the main thing I have to tell you guys. And you will see that if you start in a more relaxed way, not a lot of pressure. Okay, I know it's hard sometimes, especially if you have time pressure. But if you start in this way, I do feel that your fear of failing will be diminished. Okay, all right. Do you guys have any questions for me? Pop the questions in, please. And just remind you, okay, so link in the bio, IELTS Booster, okay, 3.0, 3 lessons, okay, 3 days of lessons. Pop your email in there, the link is in the bio, and you will be able to join me, and then I'll be able to share lots of things with you, more than I would share here, I think, yeah, because the lesson is pretty cool. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Let me know. Think Juju's sleeping now. Hey, Juju. Man, she's coming here every live now. I think she wants to be on camera. She wants to tell you guys everything about the IELTS test, yeah. So usually when I'm teaching, she's either like on my lap or next to me. So she knows everything about the IELTS test. Do you have a personal course? Yes, I do have a course, Mauricio. Yeah. For more information, head to the link on the link in the bio. Oh my god. So head to the link in the bio, okay, and you get more information there. All right, Mauricio. Any other questions, guys? Any final questions? All right. Okay, cool. You're welcome. Okay, so yeah, so I have a message on YouTube here. So it says, yes. So Ricardo, are you talking about the website? So he says, yes, there are 2 general and 2 academic. Yeah, so I think Ricardo is talking about the the British Council website. Oh yeah, so Ricardo is asking a very good question here, guys. So how much more difficult is the academic compared to the general? Okay, well, it's the academic one is a bit more complicated, okay, because it's academic, all right, but the scoring is different. Okay, so we have two things, right, guys? So when it comes to the IELTS test, we have the general and the academic. Okay, speaking and listening is exactly the same. Okay, oh yeah, so yes, so Ricardo was talking about British Council website. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Yeah, so when it comes to the IELTS test, listening and speaking is the same for general or academic. Okay, guys, but then writing and reading is different. Okay, with the academic reading, you have 3 long texts, and the texts are all academic. With the general one, you have 3 parts. So part 1, 2 short texts about your daily life. Part 2, 2 medium-sized texts talking about things that are a little bit more specific but not academic yet. And the last part is academic. All right, so you would say, all right, okay, so with the general, because I have shorter texts, it's an easier test. Yes and no. It might be easier because I think you can actually do sections 1 and 2 quicker because they are they are shorter. But then when you get to section 3, it's exactly the same as academic. And the scoring is different. Okay, so for example, if you make 1 mistake in the general one, you're already an 8.5. But if you make 3 mistakes in the academic, then you're an 8.5. I'm not quite sure about the scoring, guys, but that's something like that, you know? So I think that to get a 7 in, to get a 7, I will check that and I'll get back to you, Ricardo, yeah. So the scoring is different, okay? So to get a 7 in one, you need 30 points. You get a 7 in another one, like 35 points. So it is much easier, I don't know, because the scoring is different, okay? And when it comes to the writing part 2, same. Task 2, the same. Task 1 is different. With the general one, you will do a letter. With the academic one, you will write like a report. So some people find it very hard to analyze the chart. Other people find it very hard to come up with ideas for the letter. Okay, Ricardo, so I'm not quite sure, all right, if one is easier than the other. Okay, it really depends on the person. All right, I personally think that the reading for the academic is a little bit harder than the general. However, I feel that it's easier to do section 3 of the academic because you've been working with longer texts compared to the general, where you had 2 sections of shorter text and then you get the huge one and then you get really like overwhelmed. Okay, I personally prefer to write a letter compared to the report, but it's really personal. Okay, you're welcome, Ricardo, welcome. That's another question. Okay, so I'm listening only to English content in social media. That helps. That's a question from Cal. Yes, Cal, I think that everything you do in English helps. Okay, but that also depends on what you want to achieve. So for example, if you want a high score on the IELTS test, a 7 or more, you are trying to tell the IELTS test that your English is academic. All right, so if you are listening to things on social media in English, but these things are your everyday things, maybe you should start listening to some podcasts or watching some documentaries, just so you can be exposed to more academic English, because that's what IELTS would expect you to recognize and also use. All right, because a 7, guys, means your English is academic. That's why lots of universities here would ask for a 7, because you need that level so you can perform well when you go to uni here, right? So if you guys are just doing your everyday things and not being exposed to more academic English, maybe you find it hard to do the reading part, okay, to do the listening part 4, okay, maybe part 3 of the speaking, and of course in your writing. If you can use some academic words, that will definitely help you there, okay? That was the question from Cal. All right, cool. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Juju sleeping? So guys, if you just got here now, make sure you head to my bio, click on the link there, and join the workshop. Join the workshop. Any other questions, guys? Nope. All right, cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna go then. Okay, lots of little hearts there. Thank you for the hearts, guys. I'm glad I can help you. All right, so I'm gonna head out. All right, so I will definitely post it in the stories one more time. Okay, the link to the website, to the British Council website, so you can guys have access to the sorry, to the proper IELTS test, authentic IELTS test. Okay. Oh, Danny saying thank you so much for your time and help. You're very welcome, Danny. If you have any other questions, send me a post. Yeah, guys, send me a post, send me a message. Yeah. So yeah, guys, so just send me messages. You know, if you say, oh, Fabi, I'm having problem with this thing, can you please talk about it? No problem at all. Okay, guys, so if you feel that you're struggling with something, pause due to poor connection. Okay, I don't know what's that about. Okay, so if you have any other questions, okay, guys, just go ahead and send me a message, and I can talk about the things that you want to hear. All right, so because again, the topics I talk about here are topics that my students have been struggling with, and I can just go ahead and talk about other things too. All right, okay, so I will see you